we need to talk about Madden 22. So people tweet at me pretty much every single day asking, oh, hey, Bengal, can you access the file share? That happens every day. They've been tweeting at me. They've been commenting on videos. They've been DMing me on Instagram. They've been chatting on Twitch. Any way you can get in contact with me. Listen, if I had my address out there, I'd be getting letters asking if I can access the file share. And the answer all the time is no. The file share is completely broken. It doesn't work. When you actually can upload things and actually access it, they just get deleted. So many people, and thankful to you guys, so many people want to download my draft class that I make every single year, and a lot of time and effort goes into it, and it's so that you guys can use a pretty realistic, at least in my opinion, good draft class. Of course, connection to the server has been lost, even trying to access my shared files, but you're gonna see that nothing's in here if it ever even loads. That's a huge problem. That is a major disappointment on what already has been kind of a disappointing game. And a lot of you guys are also asking me to speak out on Madden 22 and my concerns with the game, and so many of you guys have been asking for rebuilds, which I'll get into in a little bit. And I don't really even think of myself as a big YouTuber necessarily, because I'm not really in the grand scheme of things, and the freaking game still won't load in. But I guess I kind of had like a slow grind, right, to where I am, which isn't near the top, but I'm one of the top franchise guys. I think we can agree, at least in terms of consistency and size overall. And I guess some of you think that me coming out and saying something will impact the game in a positive way going forward. But I can tell you that I've been in contact with guys at EA over the years, and I've given my insights and ideas, and they pretty much are not deemed to be valuable, as we still try to get into the file share here to even just show you the point I'm trying to make. But if anything is going to get their attention, it's going to be you guys, voicing your frustrations in a positive way. No developer wants to get chastised and yelled at and have threats made against them. But if you guys have a consistent, things got to change, eventually, hopefully, something will change. And here's my big problem with the game, because I do believe that they have made strides to improve the franchise experience overall, as they said they were going to. They overhauled scouting. Now, is it what we all wanted scouting to be? I can't speak for everybody watching this, but I think the answer is no. I don't think it was everything that we thought it could be, or wanted it to be, or believed it could be. And scouting overall, at least at this point in Madden 22, was a huge miss for me. I really don't like it. I still feel like it's not streamlined at all. There's no quick way to view all these guys. If you want to know how good a player actually is, you have to look into each one individually. You have to click through 250 plus draftable players and then the undrafted guys, and that's just to know if they're even okay. And then you look at positions like cornerback. Very often you could have a guy 80% scouted and not know man coverage, not know zone coverage, not know anything other than their athletic ability. So what it ends up being with this new draft is you don't know if any player is good. You just know, okay, we're gonna take an athlete. That's all you can do, is take an athlete. But as I was trying to say, my main issue with the game is that the little things don't work. And that is partly to do with scouting, because twice a year during, I think, week 11 and week, maybe one of the weeks in the offseason where you have the focus players for scouting, it just won't even do them. You can select 3 players, and then it's a 50-50 chance to whether those will actually be the 3 players that get the advanced scouting. And that's not, oh man, I accidentally left scouting on auto, which doesn't even do anything now, by the way. If you don't do the scouting yourself, which is really just assigning the scouts at the start, and then hopefully you get lucky that somebody is good and you know a little bit about them, which it's complete luck to whether you really know anything about a good player. And then near the end of the year, when you have those focus players week 11 and then in the offseason, sometimes it won't work. And then sometimes you could have a guy 95% scouted, like I talked about earlier with the corners at 80%. You still won't know man or zone or both at receiver. You might not know catching or catching traffic or spectacular catch or deep route running, medium route running, anything like that. There will just be so many different instances of not knowing anything. And even at 35%, like we see the athletic ability, and then you go to skills here, and I know it's only 35%, but you know spin move, stamina, and throw under pressure. These aren't useful at all. So when you are trying to make me believe scouting and you want the immersion, you want it to be a believable, realistic, immersive experience, and you are trying to tell me that these teams with big staffs and a number of different regional scouts, you go in there and you're gonna say they don't know anything about the guy? Like, what it should be, and I might make a video on this about how I think things should go, what it should be is a range. And the more information you get on a player, the range is lessened. So let's say, for example, Dom Fulton. We have him only 20% scouted. We know tackles in A, we know staminas in F. Whatever F stamina is, right? But it shouldn't be that way. It should be, you see everything, but you have maybe tackle is F to A at the start. So it could be crazy. And then let's leave tackle at an A for my example. Then you get up to 40 or 50%, and then you see, oh, it's C to A now. We know a little bit more about him, and we can see, okay, the range has gotten significantly less wide, and we're starting to know a little bit more about this player. And then, oh, 80%, it's B plus to A or something like that. It shouldn't just be straight, we don't have a clue. We don't even have a guess. Oh, he's a pass rusher? Is he good at shedding blocks and defending the run? I don't know. What about finesse moves, power moves? Can he get after the quarterback? I don't know, maybe. Like, is that a joke? Is that serious? And you can only have so many players, like, a certain point scouted. Like, for most of them, you're not really gonna know much about them at all, which is a major concern for me. The most fun part of franchise to me is the draft, the offseason, where you build up your team. The games are cool, but what I look forward to every season is the draft, free agency, acquiring players, roster management, and that really isn't represented in Madden 22, unfortunately. I wish it were different, but these are my real thoughts on the game. I think scouting was a massive, massive miss, and I know that's going to upset some guys, especially those who had a big part in designing it, and I've been pretty outspoken about my frustrations with it in ways that I think it could improve, and there, is no sign of that ever being looked at, unfortunately, as far as I'm aware. And things could change, obviously, and I hope that they do. And unfortunately, I have to take the cocky attitude here and say, listen, this is not good. My way is better. And listen, some of you are going to disagree. Some of you may like the way it is. Some of you totally won't understand what I'm saying, but I think the ranges is such a significant improvement to what it is now with just the question marks. And it's me. Like, I'm not gonna have an open mind about this. Like, it's just, I can't change how I feel about it and my thoughts on it. I think it's not fun. It's not immersive. Listen, when you draft a player in NBA 2K, they'll walk on the stage. You'll at least see a player model, but they've taken the player model out of the game when you draft them. So there's no attachment to a player. All these different guys are names on a screen. And that, I think, is a big problem to me. I think it's a big problem. And you can't have, apparently for some reasons, you can't have the color of the school even in the background. So Texas, you don't have the burnt orange behind Dom Fulton. It's just black. And apparently that is unchangeable due to like licensing and things like that. But if they can have the name, I don't really understand why they can't have the color in the background. That's a little bit confusing to me. But it's just, it feels, and I've tweeted out this a lot, it feels so lifeless. It's like, how am I being sold on Dom Fulton as the #1 player in the class if I don't really know anything about him? Listen, I have some traits here. It's cool to know the traits. I can see his age, height, and weight, what hand is dominant, and what school he goes to. But other than that, man, like, I really don't feel anything about this player. Like, the reason that the custom draft classes is cool is you know who Kayvon Thibodeau is, probably. You know some of these top guys in the class. Like, even if you're not big college football fans, You probably knew about Devontae Smith winning the Heisman last year before getting drafted. You probably know who Bryce Young is. You may know Will Anderson. He's, big Alabama guys. But, you know about some of the top players in the country in college football. They get hyped up. You're not selling me on Dom Fulton. And if your argument for that is going to be go over to the news stories and occasionally you can see a draft story. Oh, wow. Sack lunch. Fulton sets new single game record. That's cool, but I don't see a picture of him. It's not very easily accessible because I gotta go and sort here by draft and then see 2 stories about 2 players that I have no attachment to, and you're not really doing much in order to get me attached. Even just a picture would be huge, dude. Just to see these guys and go, wow, I can put a face to the name. I think that's important, and it's not there at all. And I've been trying to get to this for a while now. I keep getting sidetracked, but the simple things don't work. I talked about it with the scouting. Every single offseason, every single one, it will disconnect. Sometimes you can't even get back into the game. You got to completely close the app. You will not reconnect to the servers. Every single offseason this happens. So when people are begging me to do rebuilds, I like to do rebuilds. I like the idea of playing make-believe GM, sitting in my imaginary GM chair, making the decisions for a franchise, going through a few to several years in some cases, seeing how the team develops. I love that. I don't love it in Madden 22 because of some of the reasons I've outlined already with the draft. I think free agency could be a lot better. I don't think you should be able to get every free agent that you want. I just don't. I think there should be, and they've had this in the past a little bit as well, but they've had certain times where you have, oh, this player has a location bias, right? So he's from the Miami area. Maybe he's more inclined to go to the Dolphins. They need to have some things in the game that really significantly impact how you acquire players. And to me right now, the mode just does feel a little bit lifeless. It's disappointing to say. I wish it weren't the case. But if I go into free agents here, I have 16 million, which is not a lot, by the way. And I could get pretty much any single player that I wanted. Some of these top guys. I mean, no offers on Chris Godwin. Is that a joke? Are you telling me that maybe the best receiver on the market, who's only 26 years old, probably going into his prime, nobody is even considering giving him a contract? So at this point, I could offer him a small contract. Let's do 5.5 per year. It's only 39 points. Now, this isn't going to work every time, but a lot of the time, you'll be able to get these guys. And I'm doing a real extreme example of a super, super, super small deal that he absolutely should not take. And sometimes they will take the deal. Now, he didn't do it in this instance, but it does happen quite a bit. And for private workouts, let's see if this actually works. But the disconnects are so annoying to me. Let's go quarterback. Let's go Ashmore. Let's go Chisholm. And let's go Hillman. So quarterback is 55%, running back 40%, and receiver is 40%. So we'll see if that even changes over the week. And they've had many updates, right? But this is just one in a long line of issues I have with the game. I'd almost bet anything that it kicks me out here in a second. And there it goes. Connection lost. Thank you. So when I am trying to do these rebuild videos, and this happens every single offseason, it becomes not fun to do. And there is a fix. If you go offline and do it, it does work fine. The simulating is much slower, so that's a big downside as well. And then sometimes when you sign back in, it signs you back in, and Tom Brady or whoever it is will turn into your created player. Sometimes it'll just load indefinitely. And the only way to connect back to the servers is by closing the app. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm doing some of my 20-year simulations for a player's career, and every single offseason it takes at minimum 30 to 40 seconds. And if I have to close the app after trying to, reconnect a couple times, it could take up to a few minutes. So if you extrapolate that over a full-length recording and you go, let's say a minute and 30 seconds, right? So 90 seconds. If you say on average 90 seconds per every time it disconnects and kicks you out, you do that over 20 seasons, that's 1800 seconds, which divided by 60 gives you 30 minutes, right? Am I right about that? Not a math guy. Either way, that's a significant amount of time to just trying to play the game. Just trying to simulate. Like that's, and then look, Chris Godwin accepted it. This is what I'm talking about. No one has an interest in a 26-year-old superstar receiver. And just to show you that there was no funny business happening as he's injured, complete ACL tear. That is a good storyline as why guys wouldn't have been interested, but we didn't even know that when we clicked on him. So I mean, if he has a complete ACL tear, we should be able to know about that, I think. But then you see the contract here, 5 years, 23.8 million in total salary. For most years here, it's under 8 million significantly, and then gets as expensive as 8.37 million a year. Wow. I think Sterling Shepard makes more than that. Yeah, he does. He does. And that's Sterling Shepard, who is not Chris Godwin. Sterling Shepard, and that is a real life contract, but should show you something. 29 years old, even though Dave Gettleman, horrible. 26 years old, 90 overall superstar. Little bit of a difference there, and he's making, you know, almost half of what Sterling Shepard is for some years. I mean, what? He was like under 7 the first year, like 6 point something, and then Sterling Shepard was making as much as 11.5 in 2023. That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. So that's a problem to me, that you can just get whoever you want, because a lot of time there's no interest. The glitches and bugs in game for the gameplay, they're few and far between to me. So you can have these channels that highlight those. I really don't think that's as big of a problem as some of the core franchise mechanics, features, however you want to say it. Listen, if you're in the game and your player falls down, gets tackled, and for some reason it doesn't register with the game and he gets up and runs for a touchdown, yeah, that sucks. It's funny for a second, right? But I've never had that happen to me. So in my experience, like, those type of things don't happen very often, because I've never had a gameplay bug as far as I can remember in Madden 22, period, or even Madden 21, Madden 20. The only thing I can remember is maybe a couple times a season on the sideline, some of the players' pants turn rainbow, which didn't really affect my experience. I didn't even notice it until people commented it on the video. So a lot of the actual gameplay bugs and things I don't really care about. I think it happens, but not being able to access the file share, disconnecting from franchise every single offseason, sometimes multiple times a year, by the way. It's not like, sometimes it happens after the draft as well. But yeah, I mean, the file share and the disconnects are absolutely unacceptable. The fact that there's not been a fix, and this has been the case for multiple months now, is complete insanity. I have no idea how you can expect to have a functioning, successful game when, and look, Antoine Hillman did not get touched. The running back did not get touched. These are the things I'm talking about, where, oh, happens 50% of the time, might be even more than that. I make these guys my focus players, and it just doesn't do it. Like, are you kidding me? Honestly, it's a joke. And listen, I love a lot of the guys at EA that I have a personal relationship with. I think they're great people. And, you know, for a lot of these guys, it's not even their fault. It's, you know, some other people, some actual programmers, whatever it is. But flat out, it's embarrassing. It's unacceptable that the core features are not functioning 90% of the time. And I can't really say it any better than that, man. It's super frustrating. It makes the game, in my opinion, unplayable. It's not fun to do rebuilds for me right now because of the game. Not because I don't want to do them, but because of all of these bugs that I've highlighted so far. And these are just 3 things that I hate. So it kind of is what it is. But that's why you're not seeing so many rebuilds for me right now. I cannot stand the disconnects. I can't stand not being able to access the file share. And even if you do by magic get into the file share, you can't download anything. If you try to upload it, it'll be uploaded for a certain amount of time and then it'll be deleted randomly. Let's take Deontay Winslow here. Cool, man. We see everything we've seen from him. His face, hidden dev. We don't know the overall, which, by the way, that doesn't do anything. Like, the overall's hidden for what? So that in the draft, you still don't know if left end is a need or not? Because as soon as you end the draft and then go to your draft recap, you see the overalls. So either you're all in on this fog of war aspect and you don't know the overalls, you don't know the ratings just yet, you just know they're a rookie. Either you're all in or you're all out, because it doesn't accomplish what I think you think it accomplishes by not showing it, because I can know it in 5 seconds when I go to the draft recap. So what's the point? What's the point of hiding it? Because I go here and then immediately, oh, I can see, oh, he's a 79 overall. Pretty good. Which is pretty good, by the way. But, like, what's the point? What's the point? I see all the overalls now. Why even bother hiding it? Congrats, you hit it for 30 seconds. And then it might even disconnect here as I try to go to the preseason. It's just, the simple things have to, it's frozen now. Not doing anything. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the simple things have to work. Bottom line. Oh, and there we go. Disconnected. Right on cue. Bye-bye. Yeah, so, unacceptable to me. I know it's going to seem like I'm complaining. I have the greatest job in the world. I know I work crazy long hours, but at least that's, you know, doing what I love. So I appreciate you guys for it. I want this game to be better. I think you guys do as well. Madden 22 to me feels like a lost cause. I'm still going to upload it. I still enjoy Lions franchise quite a lot. I'm still going to do rebuilds. I like doing them, but when you see me not posting them as often, this stuff after months and months and months and months and months, I'm saying, oh, maybe it'll get fixed, and then it doesn't. It drains you. That's all I can say. So it should be fun, and I have way more fun playing NCAA 14 and dealing with that game, which came out in 2013, nearly a decade ago, than I do playing Madden 22, which came out, what, about 6 months ago? Something like that. So maybe 5 months ago. It's completely unacceptable. I hate where the game is, and there are times where I hate making videos on it for the reasons I've outlined. So 23 minutes of ranting. Hopefully it wasn't too tough to listen to. I know a lot of you guys echo how I feel about this as well. I've seen it in the comments. I've seen it on Twitter, obviously Twitch, all these places I've highlighted as well. My links are all down in the description. Hopefully things change for Madden 23, but this stuff is beyond unacceptable. Again, I can deal with trying to implement things in franchise, and I can forgive scouting missing the mark for me. I can forgive that because they're trying, they're making an effort to improve. But it's this ticky-tack bullshit, for lack of a better term, is unacceptable. The disconnects, the file share not working, and it's been that way for months. This is not, oh, it's been broken for a week, let me make a rant video. It's been like this for months. Somebody's got to say something, and hopefully things improve, but that's why you're not seeing as many Madden videos, because it's just intolerable. But I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
Insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn, taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.